Hi, look at me. I need to be cleaned. Little did you know, I don't just do electronic stuff. I also used to be a car painter. I've done quite a bit of car painting in my time. Oddly enough, this one here is my daughter's car, which is the same exact color as her boyfriend's car, which my wife was nice enough to back up into, which is going to require a new bumper. So this here is that new bumper, which I just sanded, which explains this mess. With 320 grit, this bumper I bought for about $100 basically on eBay. Not bad. Comes folded, and you can see there's a little bit of creasing going on here. So we'll leave this thing out in the sun, and hopefully these little curves will come out, no problem. So how you can do this yourself at home pretty economically is, I mean, this here is not a high volume, low pressure gun. It's just a standard gravity feed gun. You can buy these from Granger or Auto Parts Store, eBay, wherever. They're pretty cheap. A lot concerned to clean out the gun because I don't use this thing that often. This is the next step for the bumper. After I wash it down with soap and water, I'm going to put the wax and grease remover on there. Of course, use a tack rag to get rid of all the little critters and little lint and stuff like that you might find. This is going to be a backyard spray job. The mixing equipment, over here I got some chroma base, which is 1 quart pre-mixed. So you get 1 quart of paint, it's 2 to 1, so you get a quart and a half of base coat. And over here is my clear. So that's my paint that I'm going to use for this application. What you see here, basically around almost 200 bucks. So between 200 here, 100 for the bumper, 300 bucks and a little sweat equity, you got yourself a new header panel on the car. This is pretty much how that bumper comes in the mail, by the way. They fold the edges in because, you know, they're kind of wide. To save money on shipping, I can understand that. Instead of paying FedEx like 300, 400 bucks for shipping, I'd rather pay nothing and have this and deal with a little bit of creasing. A little heat could take that out of the thing, no problem. Thing right here, super important. It's a water filter. I work in the outside. I'm using my side yard here in Florida. We got mad humidity here. Luckily, I'm before the mosquito and love bug season, so I don't have to worry about those little vicious insects attacking my paint job. Because it seems like as soon as you spray this urethane paint, those things just come a running. They love the smell of that paint for some reason. So to wash off the panel, and this is the reason why you want to wash it off with water, because when you wash it down, it shows off all the high spots or low marks in your sanding work. It's pretty good, and plus it helps get rid of some of that degreasing. Use the soft side of the sponge, by the way. Don't use this hard abrasive. Even though he's smiley, he'll make you feel very sad should you scratch that. Simple palm all over Joy does the job just right, and it gets rid of all that dust. It gets in all those little areas where fingers just can't seem to get into. Water does a great job. So this is my second time I washed this panel, and you can see when you get close up on there, you see that right there? That needs to be sanded more. The water and the soap, when it dries up, it shows you that little bit of high spot. So that's going to come out, and you're going to see that through the finish. So once this is all done, you want to give your whole panel a good once over. You can either mark it or just sand them as you go, and make sure you have a nice, smooth, ready to paint finish before you even think about putting the wax and grease remover, hitting it with the tack rag, and starting applying that first coat, a base coat. Because the preparation is everything in painting. Any painter who's been around and knows how to paint will tell you that. Another quick tip is when you're gonna get your paint code, make sure you read on the decal. It says here, this one here is PR. The one I'm using is actually TR, is tropical red. This one here is a 3-stage paint. And it's very important that you give them that. And if you can find a dealer who sells the auto parts, give them the VIN number. That is so good. That's dead on accurate, and that's actually what I found. The Chromax paint dealer that I used, he used a VIN number. So I know I'm gonna get a good match. A good example of why it's so important to make sure you get a good match is either bring a swatch of your old paint, piece of the old car. This car here, actually, this piece here was replaced. Just like I'm doing the front part on my car, this car was repaired at the same place. But it was painted the first time with actually the TR code color, even though it looks close. This here that I have is a two-part base coat system. This is a 3-stage. Big difference. So it came home, it looked good in the dark, but when you put it in the sun like you see it here, it looked like ass. Look at that. Even pros can make a mistake. What here is, this is my compressor. This is the one I've been using for forever. And this thing does a hell of a good job doing auto paint too. Let's let this thing dry, and I'll let these 2 little creases over here by the fog light area work its way out. Hopefully by the time I come back to this thing tomorrow afternoon, that'll all be nice and be on kinks. Then we can start getting it prepared. We can paint it and get it sprayed tomorrow. We can dry up and get this poor kid his bumper back next weekend. Front bumper panel out overnight Now it's been out in the sun for several hours. You can see it's still warped. It's inverted around the fog lights here on this side. This side's got exactly the same problem. So here's how we fix that. Take a heat gun. Just keep it moving until that panel comes back into shape. It might take about 1 to 3 minutes, but a little patience. Just see how good it can look. After working it with the heat gun, you can see this side's near perfect. Compared to this one. Well, it's not too bad. If you have a choice, try to work the heat gun from the inside and use a glove and push it from behind. I found that works the best. It speeds things up a little bit. This is the third coat. All 3 coats have been applied on the base coat now. I'll let that set up about 15 minutes now, so I'm going to go in there and mix up my clear. I'm going to put 2 to 3 coats on there, let it set up, and this panel's looking really good. That's a nice clean base coat. I'm really happy about those kinks coming out too in that panel shipping. It's got 1 quart, I got this half pint, mix those 2, 4 to 1 in this cup. I'll let that set up. Now I'm going to go out there and shoot that clear on that panel. And here's the final product. Not too shabby. So 3 coats of base coat, 2 heavy coats of clear. Looks damn good. Not bad, 300 bucks. And at least I know it's done right because I did it myself. Just put it on next week or so and this thing will be looking great. So if you have any questions about doing one of these things yourself or anything else, because I've done single stage now, dual stage, 3 stage, candy colors, I've done quite a few different variations of paint. I'm actually starting to feel like I'm starting to get pretty damn good at it. Let me know.